Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. I'm Cindy Whitmer, the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life one day at a time. And I want to give you a makeover from the inside out. And I believe that starts with learning how to love yourself properly and build your confidence. So please go to timewithcindy.com and sign up for a free midlife strategy session. That's 30 minutes with me coaching you, starting that makeover from the inside out. You will fill out a confidence profile that'll take you like 5 minutes. I will get results together for you, so I really have a picture of where you're at in that piece of your life. And I will come to the session ready to offer what I can, best ideas, strategies, and so forth to move you forward. So, and I'm going to tell you the truth about what I see. So please take advantage of that. Timewithcindy.com. There isn't any greater gift I can give you, in my opinion, professionally, than time, to a specific time to hear your story, to understand you, and to offer what I know to be true and what has worked for me and worked for lots and lots, hundreds and thousands of other people over my 30 plus year career to change their lives for the better. So this week, I've really been thinking about aging and health and that whole part of our lives, because midlife is just full of challenges in that area. I know some of you are not sleeping well. I know some of you are not, you're dealing with chronic pain. Some of you are, frustrated with your weight. Some of you are, your hormones have just been, up, down, sideways, and backwards. I just, and those wrinkles are coming, and the gray hair, and, you feel like you're slowing down. You're not able to do as much, that kind of thing. All those issues are very valid. Oh, excuse me, and understandable. Let me take a little drink here, soothe the throat a bit. I get it. So if you're like me, you want to age well. Like, I don't want to, talk myself into believing that I have to slow down now in a different way because I'm 56 years old, or that there's nothing but downhill in terms of health and aging from here on out. Or, I don't want to believe that I'm going to be one of the statistics of women with, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, Alzheimer's, all those things are climbing. All those rates are climbing for women the older that we get. And I just don't want that to be my story. And I don't want it to be yours either. So I am on a mission to really understand ways that we can age well and really honor ourselves in the aging process. Okay. So, and of course, I talk about all the time how we just get wiser and wiser with age. And so let's make sure we're doing that and learning from our lives and making new decisions based on that wisdom. But I heard recently about a show on Netflix called Live to 100. And I thought, oh, that sounds very interesting. And so it was this whole research project that this gentleman did, studying what he calls blue zones around the world, which you may have well heard about this. If not, listen up, because this stuff is fascinating if you're someone who wants to age well and live long, and so forth. So blue zones are areas of the world where the highest concentration of people over age 100 live. And this guy went around to these different areas and studied, how are these people living? What are they doing? What are the common denominators with these people that they are thriving and over 100 years old? And it is so much fun. So if you have Netflix, it's called Live to 100. It's in the documentary section of Netflix. It's like 4 short episodes or maybe 5. Anyway, 4 or 5 short episodes, just a few hours of your time. Check it out. It's fascinating. And there's all these people, these old, what we would call old people who are out like chopping wood and walking for miles and riding their bicycles and running businesses and engaging in their hobbies and their families and their circles of friends and doing all these. They're raising their gardens and they're 103, 105. It's amazing. So it's, if nothing else, honestly, go watch it because it's just, if you want to be inspired, if you want to be fascinated. But I'm going to just bottom line it for you today in this podcast, what he found, because I just loved hearing what these people had in common and how easily we can do these things. Okay. I mean, seriously, it was so encouraging. So I'm just going to bottom line 4 areas that he highlighted in every blue zone. I mean, this kind of showed up in every blue zone around the world. Okay, one of the things is that they move naturally. Their lifestyle is a lifestyle of moving naturally. Okay, so you and I might go get a gym membership and get on a treadmill for 30 or 60 minutes, or go to a spinning class or a Pilates class, or weightlifting class, or whatever we might do, right? Or join a martial arts class, or or a dance class, or whatever, right? This is what we do in America. We join classes to get our exercising in, right? We buy our machines to get our exercising in. What people were doing primarily in the blue zones, where they were gardening in their gardens for 2 hours. They were herding their sheep. They were walking everywhere. They were walking everywhere instead of getting in cars. They just had lifestyles where they were on the move. They stood in their kitchens and cooked their food from their garden. They, like I said, chopped wood. They, pulled weeds out of their garden. They just move naturally. Oh, and they sing and they dance. Like they have dinners and sing and dance, with their families when they gather for dinners or whatever. So they're moving naturally more often. And we are sitting still. One of the things that, I believe this man's name was Dan. I should have written it down. I apologize for not doing that. This was the guy that did the whole thing, shebang. He said that in our Western culture, now there is a blue zone in California also, so it wasn't all just, remote places around the world, but he said in our culture, what we've done is we've made our lives more sedentary because we have systems in place for everything to get done with us. We even have vacuums that will vacuum our floor for us now, so we don't, well, I still vacuum my floor with a vacuum. I don't have one of those thingies that's rolling around the floor doing it for me, but many of you do, and that's fine. But what he's saying is that our natural lifestyles don't get us moving like these people move in the blue zones. And so we want to make sure that we're not just on the couch, in a chair, at a desk, and so forth. Like one of the things, you guys see me sitting at my desk all the time, right? I do have a very sedentary job. And so one of my goals is to get one of those standing things. So I stand at my desk at least when I'm doing different things. So look for that change sometime soon. But anyway, moving naturally. So they don't go get on an elliptical machine to make sure they're moving. They're just moving. So we want to make sure we're moving more, and moving it in whatever way. If we don't move naturally, then get more movement in. Very basic. We can all do this. Number 2, he talked about outlook. They have a very purpose-filled outlook. Okay. So many of them volunteer, for example, or they still have work they are doing, even though they're in their 90s, they're in their hundreds. They, like I said, they may be still farming, gardening. They, one woman highlighted had a sewing business. There's a purpose to get up in the morning every day. They have faith communities they're involved with. They have some kind of spiritual practice or faith community they're involved with. One mentioned, the one highlighted was like a choir that a group of ladies were singing in. Some are going to temple, some have their own like their own meditation place right there on their own properties or whatever. But there is a faith-based outlook, a purpose-filled outlook, and they rest. They believe in resting and unwinding, relaxing. They understand the importance of de-stressing. They don't even let stress enter their lives, basically. And like I've said before, I think happiness is one of the most that's the best anti-aging advice ever. So reducing your stress, and letting yourself rest and relax, feeling purpose-minded in your life where you're offering something to others, you're giving in some way that feels very meaningful to you, and having some kind of spiritual outlook or belief system and faith practice that supports your life. This all he put under the umbrella of outlook. So that was number 2. Number 3, eat wisely. Okay. I'm not going to go down this slippery slope for long. You guys know this already. But honestly, the main pieces of that he found in the blue zones over and over and over again was a very natural diet. In other words, meaning homegrown food or plant-based, or processed food was not a big part of any of these blue zone areas. And processed food, of course, is America, right? In lots of ways. So the more plant-based you can go, the more natural you can go. This is according to the blue zone research. I'm just sharing. And a little bit of wine in moderation. Talked about that. Wine in moderation, and moderation in general with food. So in other words, portions being probably smaller than a typical American diet. Like our restaurants, when we go eat at a restaurant, those helpings are huge compared to what we actually need for good health and body balance and so forth. Okay. And I'm not picking on restaurants. I love y'all. I love going to a great restaurant, and Lawrence is full of them. Yummy. Shout out to all you awesome restaurants in Lawrence. We are so lucky here. But anyway, so eat wisely, plant-based, natural, wine, moderation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, and talked about, we are what we eat and how much it affects our bodies and so forth. So there you have it. That's what the blue zone research says. People living over 100, because guess what? They're not obese. They're not getting heart conditions. They're not getting cancer. They're not getting, did I say diabetes already? They do not have high cholesterol. Their numbers for these diseases that typically kill us in America, they just don't have them. They literally don't have them. And that's why they're living so long. Okay. And the 4th piece, okay, we've said move naturally, the outlook piece, the eat wisely piece. The 4th piece he went on and on about, saw this over and over and over, is real connection to others. Real connection to others. Okay. True connection. These blue zone areas, the people involved in the study all had maybe wide isn't the right word, had steady social circles, groups of friends who got together regularly to play chess, to make a meal, to sing and dance together, to go to their faith community together, to do whatever together. So social circles, friendship groups, okay? And the family unit. Wow. The family units were closer in the blue zones, definitely. There was even more of a belief in, keeping the generations, multiple generations together, close by, or living with each other or near each other, gathering often and respecting your elders, and just keeping people close. Having a sense of a tribe, a tribal mentality that I'm part of a group, I'm part of something bigger than myself. I can count on these people. These people are my people. I can count on them. And then, or to have strong partnerships. So the idea of marriage or other kinds of strong partnerships are extremely valued and held sacred in these blue zones. So that we cannot deny the crisis of loneliness that is going on in America. And part of it is because of social media, because we think we're connecting with people on social media. And of course, I'm on there all the time as your coach. And I'm thankful for that, because I can reach you all over the place, but it is not the same as when we can sit in a room together and have a conversation. But yet a lot of people in our society think it is the same, or it's the best they can get, or they think it's enough. But there's a crisis of loneliness here. And I believe it's because people are struggling. Women tell me all the time, I don't know how to make friends in midlife. I don't know where they are. How do I create friendships? We belong to things. We belong to groups that meet on Zoom, or we don't belong to anything at all. We don't even know our neighbors anymore. Things like this. And in the blue zones, that's just not how it is. That's not how it is. So I encourage you, if you're interested in being healthier and aging better and better and better, and having a more meaningful, joy-filled life in general, I would go watch this series on Netflix. It's called Live to 100. And in the documentary area, it's a study of the blue zones, again, which are areas where people over 100, the highest concentration of people who live over 100 and live quality lives over 100. They haven't lost their mental capacities. They're not sitting in a chair, unable to do anything for themselves. These are 100-year-olds that are out. They are living their lives like you and I are living our lives. And they're moving naturally. They have a great outlook. They're eating wisely, and they're connecting all the time. So there you have it. Wow. I am so inspired by this. So I couldn't wait to share it. So I wanted you to know it. And so, so again, please do not be sitting there and telling yourself the story that you're just aging and you're too old and it's all downhill from here, that you can't physically change your body, or that you cannot slow down your aging process. It is simply not true. It's just not the truth. So let's change the paradigm here of what aging and health looks like in midlife and beyond. Let's change it. Change it, change it, change it. So you can live a life that you feel really good, and you physically, and you feel really good mentally and emotionally and spiritually. That's what I wish for you. So if I can do anything, if you will allow me to do anything to help you with this, I hope you will. Just go to timewithcindy.com to set up a time with me. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, find out more about my coaching programs, or download my free ebook, The Midlife Makeover Method, The Secret to Loving Yourself Fully and Living on Your Terms, then head over to my website at www.cindydwhitmer.com and have a wonderful day.